Well, surely there's something y'all want
Some question.
to know.
I'll ask a question. If and when, hopefully, you're elected next year, would you favor an immediate withdrawal of troops from all over the world?
Within 60 to 90 days, combat troops. Within a year, have all the troops home from all stations. I mean, what? This is a big economic issue too, we must realize. What it takes us to fund 180 bases around the world and to run 3 wars simultaneously, it's no wonder we're broke. We're going to stay broke as long as we're paying for all that. It's time to bring people home. We're chewing up one of the greatest natural resources we have in this country, and that's our young people. And we're feeding them into a sausage grinder called war. And even if they come home unscathed by physical wounds, trust me, I was in the military right after Vietnam. I had to deal with patients in the war. The things that war does to young people's minds is something they don't ever recover from. You can set a broken bone and make it almost as good as new. You mess with somebody's mind, you might change them for the rest of their lives. There's too much of that going on. We bring them home. I'd rather have a country filled with prosperous patriots than cemeteries filled with dead heroes. Yes, Marcia.
I don't exactly know how to frame this, but I'd love to hear some of the arguments that you would give to people who believe we need to be there.
Well, somebody's going to take that approach. I'm going to ask them, you tell me why we do need to be there. Show me. I mean, there are circumstances where war is justifiable, a defensive war. Somebody attacks us, oh yeah, we should retaliate. We should defend ourselves. It's the most natural right that anybody has as an individual is to defend yourself. And we don't give that right up just because we're in a platoon or a squad. But you can't justify Libya as that kind of thing. We
Well,
weren't.
about Lee, there are living aircraft carriers and landing ships just poised off the Atlantic coast, aren't there?
Well, you'll have to show them to me. Like I said, I'm a reasonable man, but I'm not going to take anybody's word for it. I'm a journalist by nature, and I'm old school. There are no such things as one-source stories. If you told me the sky was blue, I'd walk outside and look just to make sure. So,
Don't leave
I
the
mean,
wars
we get,
in Libya.
we get all kinds of excuses. We've been led to war several times over the last few years on lies because people didn't ask for evidence. They just heard what they wanted to hear. People would tell them what they want to hear. I'm not interested in telling people what I think they want to hear. I'm interested in telling people what needs to be heard. Yes, Marcia. A follow-up.
Also, I'd love to hear how you would campaign. How would you, if you got the nomination, what kind of outreach would you do?
Well, I'd start with the young people. That's where our strength is going to be. That's what we're doing now, is building the foundation for the young people that will come behind us. And they're the ones that have to do the fighting. They're also going to be the easiest people to bring to our, it's easier for them to embrace what we're talking about than it is older people, like Richard Norman and I, who are set in our ways and are not so inclined to be receptive to new ideas. I'm not saying Richard's not receptive to new ideas, I'm just saying people our age and our age group tend to be set in their ways. Young people are still searching, they're looking. And, I mean, look around what they're wearing, you know, the peace symbols on the clothes, the jewelry, tattoos. I mean, it's like the 60s again, almost all over again. And that's what stopped those wars, was the young people saying, no, we're not going to fight. One of the most traumatic things I remember as a child is seeing National Guards killing protesting students in Kent State. I mean, I can't tell you the effect that has on a 10, 11-year-old child that's thinking about things, that's wondering, wait a minute, we're supposed to be fighting the communists in Vietnam. Why are we killing kids in college in Ohio? Just because they don't agree. Kids know, they're ready, and it's up to us to bring it to them. I mean, we've missed huge opportunities the last couple of years, in my opinion, as far as the Libertarian Party. We should have been out in front of this a long time ago. This is way behind. I'm trying to catch up, so let's catch up. Steve?
Yeah, following up on that, do you see that as The biggest problem the Libertarian Party runs into every time is it spends all its money on ballot access and getting on the ballot, and then has nothing left for the campaign. You see the fact that you're looking to focus on youth as being a way of running a virtual campaign that doesn't cost billions of dollars in order to run it nationally, because it's decentralized, because it uses, I'm thinking, you know, local meetings, looking at streaming videos instead of you having to
Well, we need
traipse all over the
to,
country.
that's what we need to do, is make use of all the new medias that we had that weren't flourishing so much in the last election. And get the word out any way we can. You mentioned ballot access. I know it's a little easier here in Tennessee than it is a lot of places, but people can't vote for us if we're not on the ballot. Unfortunately, that's one of the things that Democrats and Republicans try to do to keep us down, to keep us poor, is to make ballot access so restrictive that exactly what you say happens. We spend all our money getting on the ballot, and then we don't have anything left for our campaigns. But there's different ways of winning than winning elections. There's winning the minds and hearts of people, and that's what we should be concentrating on. We should be just taking a solid libertarian message. There's nothing wrong with our message. We just got to deliver it properly. We don't need to soften it or change it or do anything to it. Just need to deliver it and make it, you know, not so complicated. Just show people how easy it is, you know. Just stop it. Stop. Right? Yeah, exactly. Joseph?
Regarding the whole thing of stopping all war, and then you said you're kind of like, your plan on doing that, how would you hedge in a debate for folks that are more pro-militarization with this whole thing of, since we do still have a rough economy, the idea of sending young people, you know, overseas to someplace like Korea with huge bonuses, huge college money and things like that, and then saying, well, it's also in our interest because that's where a lot of U.S. corporations are in South Korea, and they use the military as essentially their bodyguards. How would you just say, well, remove that? Wouldn't that scare the corporations? And
I'm sure it will, but I'm not worried about scaring the corporations. I'm not worried about scaring anybody. I'm worried about how scared our children are because they may have to go to war. The worst time for a child to be born is 18 years before a war. And it is an economic issue, like I said. I mean, if they're truly concerned about our economic issues, then they'll stop all this money that flows into the military industrial complex.
well, I'm saying, like, if you had an 18, 19-year-old who's getting $40,000 to go to Korea, and now you're saying, well, we're not going to send you there anymore, so you'll no longer get that bonus.
How much? 18? I might have to re-up.
Yeah.
We didn't make that kind of money when I was
They
there.
give you that much if you sign up to
Well,
be in there at least 1 year in
Well, see,
Korea.
no, that shows you
in the
how
military.
desperate they are, just to have people to go do I mean, if this was truly in the interest of the United States, it would happen just like it happens every time. They wouldn't be able to sign up everybody that wanted to go fight. If we were being attacked, if we were truly in danger, you would see young people in droves. You would see old people in droves going down just like they did in World War II, wanting to sign up and kick some ass. But just what you're saying proves to me, if you got to pay them that much just to talk them into going somewhere, well, they're not really that keen on going in the first place, and they're only going because they're motivated by money.
So would you be okay with reinstating the drafts to increase the
No.
anti-war?
Absolutely not.
Slavery.
No. What I favor is doing away with the need for the draft, bringing them home, like I said.
So you get rid of selective
want
service?
self-defense, bring everybody that's overseas home and ring this country with a ring of armed forces.
So would you get
It's
rid of
a-
selective service?
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's all selective service is draft, getting prepared for the draft. And like I said, it is an economic issue. All the economists will agree. I've heard it said several times. You can do away with everything in the federal budget, literally everything. Take it all out, except for Social Security, Medicare, and the military spending that we do, and your grandchildren still be going into debt. That's how bad it is. We're not going to make it better by sending more, by spending more. We got to do less. Yes, sir.
As a libertarian president, you're going to have the right and left Congress to deal with. How would you propose to deal with them in the regards of exactly what you're talking about, spending aside from military?
Well,
How would you deal with that?
The only place where the president really has any power, and that's the budget. And of course, he sends a budget to Congress, and Congress is going to tinker with it, of course, and send it back. But that's where my battle would be as president, is in the budget fights. And, you know, you either sign it the way I want it, or I'm going to start vetoing. And I know I'm not going to be popular about it. But I'm not interested in making 500 or 600 people in Congress happy or keep them satisfied. I'm worried about the 350 million people that they're supposed to be answerable to, and I don't see how they're answerable to the people at all. Yes, sir.
Another way to do what he's saying is if your president is the right kind of president, would be to turn around and ask him to declare a war for starters,
Well,
instead of just sending them over there.
I don't want to give them any ideas. I mean, one of the great things about this, one of the great things about making peace that a president could do, libertarian or otherwise, is since nobody's bothered to seek a declaration of war since World War II, every conflict we're entering in right now can be spoken out of existence just as easily as it was spoken into existence. All the president's got to do is say, stop, bring them home. He don't have to wait on anybody's permission. He don't have to go to Congress and seek a treaty of peace because he didn't declare a war. So, in essence, one guy can say to the rest of the world, we are not at war. And that's my intent. Tell people, we're not at war anymore. Leave us alone long enough for me to get my guys home, and y'all do whatever you want to. But, I mean, it all boils down to stopping something.
I want some of your pens. We are not at war. I have not.
All right. Well, I'll let Thomas Hill come and tell you about how to take care of stuff like that. Thank you so much for having me.
My name's Thomas Hill. I'm Lee's campaign manager. And first, I just want to thank the Libertarian Party of Tennessee. What great host and great hospitality you've given us. And I was lucky enough to be here with Lee 2 years ago when he spoke, and it's just like another home to me. Right coming over the mountains, I'm originally from North Carolina, so thank you for being just good, humble, lovers of liberty. We just feel like we're a family here, and I want to tell you that. And one thing about Lee's campaign, to mention ballot access, 10% of everything we raise goes directly to ballot access to ensure whoever the Libertarian nominee happens to be. Personally, I hope it's Lee, but if not, whoever we have can go to all 50 states and have 50 state ballot access. It's a tough road, but it can be done. We were happy to help Arkansas, give our first installment check to help the Libertarian Party of Arkansas with their ballot drive, and we look forward to helping other state parties. But the reason I'm up here, and I'm just going to be a couple minutes, most of you have known Lee for a long time. You know where Lee stands, and you're good friends with Lee. Lee needs your help. Can't do this by himself, and I guarantee you Lee Wrights has never asked anybody in this room for money before this campaign. So I know it's tough. You've got to help your state party and your local candidates, but if there's any way you can help us out. This is the 7th convention that we've been at. Next weekend, Julie Fox, our deputy treasurer, myself will be traveling to Iowa to represent Lee at that convention. And as you know, it takes money to travel around the country, and anything you can give, there's no gift too small. We appreciate every dollar given to us, and I guarantee you one thing, there will be no campaign in this party that will stretch a dollar further than what me and Lee Wrights do with money and stretch it. So we're going to run a professional campaign, and to do that we need money. I encourage you to go to Wrights2012.com. We've got some videos up we're really proud of. Those take money to produce them, so we want to do more of them. So if you like what you see, please donate. And if you can't give, it doesn't cost a dime to open your mouth, spread the message through Facebook, whatever. Just keep singing the song of liberty. And again, thank you for having us. And please, if there's any way you can help us with our campaign, please do so. Yes, sir.
Yeah, when you say that, you're going to have an online site somewhere you can contribute?
Oh, we've already, yes, sir, Wrights2012.com. We've got a Wrights2012.com.
WRI.
Got a donate button prominent right in the right-hand corner at the top. And we've also checked out our videos too. We really, that's the future. YouTube going viral. That's what we have to do to capture the hearts and imaginations of particularly the young people. So again, I'll let you get back to your convention here, but thanks for having us, and if you can help, we certainly appreciate it. Thank you so much.